Welcome back to Film Buff Bros, and in this episode, we're going to discuss our favorite 1960s winter-themed movies.
Cold Blood.
So, this one I've seen, I think, just twice, and I think that it still fits in with the winter theme. It's called The Virgin Spring, directed by Ingmar Bergman from 1960, and it actually takes place in spring, but it does snow once in it. And basically the premise of the story, the synopsis of the story is that it takes place, I guess, probably in the 1500s. It appears to take place then. And there's this farm family, and they send the young daughter, she's like a teenager, to deliver candles to the church during a certain holiday, a Christian holiday, and she has to ride horseback through the forest to the church, and she gets approached by these goat herders, these three male goat herders who rape and kill her, and then they seek refuge because it's cold and they're hungry at this farm. I think once they're there, they realize that it's the family of the girl they killed, and the girl goes with her sister, who's to backtrack, when she's delivering the candles, she's with her elder sister who's pregnant, and they don't like each other. She got pregnant by some random guy or whatever, so she's kind of like the outcast of the family, and then the younger one is like the virgin, and the family favorites. You got the black sheep and the favorite, and they have an argument and they separate, and that's when she gets raped, and the girl witnesses it, and then she is ashamed of not intervening or whatever, so she kind of goes away for a couple days in the forest, cries and something. They don't really explain that too much, but then she comes back to her family, and then she explains to her dad, these are the guys that killed the daughter, and she shows them the body. I think that's the end. But anyway, the dad kills, I think, does he kill all three of them? Definitely kills the two elder ones. Pretty sure he kills all three of them, because one's like a boy. So anyway, that's the synopsis. It's quiet, it's a slow burn, minimal scoring, accentuates the acting and kind of the spooky eeriness of it. Dire subject matter, obviously. Varied camera angles, framing and shot duration, complex characters, sparse dialogue at times, again just yielding tension, and always love a good revenge story. So yeah, it's kind of winter themed. It's kind of the tail end of winter. Winter is mentioned, the goat herder guys are oh yeah, we had a hard winter and we're hungry or whatever, so it seems like winter plays a bit of a back note to it, but it was kind of tough to find a 1960s movie. I was looking up James Bond movies, where Roger Moore is skiing, but most of that takes place, I think, in the Bahamas or somewhere in the Caribbean. So I kind of struggled to find one, and this one is a movie that I thought was primarily winter, but upon looking back, it's winter does play an aspect to it, but not a very big role.
Yeah, if it feels like a winter movie, has that sort of lighting and all these things can contribute to that. I'll talk about a couple. Well, first I'll just say, when you shine those white lights through windows, and like they did in Overlook Hotel and in this other movie I'll talk about, but. Yeah, so I'm picking The Great Silence, 1968. It's a spaghetti western that takes place in the Snowy Mountains. It's fantastic acting by Klaus Kinski and the guy who plays the main character, Silence. And it's just the second time watching it, paced really well. Great score by Ennio Morricone and Bruno Nicolai. Great cinematography of the mountains. Great use of the camera, and the lighting is fantastic. A second viewing of the movie, I was like, this is a great movie. I really like it. What else was I going to say about it? Anyway, I would say, Tarantino basically ripped it off. So much stuff that's blatantly ripped off, from just blocking of characters to hold dialogue lines. So Hateful Eight, I just noticed so much that Tarantino ripped off this movie. But yeah, definitely recommend the movie, and it really is an immersive winter movie. You really feel like you're in the mountains with these guys, and just fantastic acting, great score. Got to see it. Yeah.
I saw it once. But I forgot what's the basic like plot.
The plot line is a revenge story. There's a woman who gets her husband killed, so she hires this guy to kill Klaus Kinski's character, but he also has a grudge against him for something that he did to him. He cut his throat, and that's why he can't talk. He doesn't say a line of dialogue the whole thing. So it's kind of like Clint Eastwood, The Man with No Name. It's the man with no voice. But yeah, definitely fantastic. Kinski, horrible person. Kinski was a horrible, horrible human being, but really piercing eyes, and just like, pulls you into that really dangerous villain.
Sometimes, like, I just thought of this. It would be cool to have like two. I mean, it probably wouldn't have worked out because I remember Harvey Keitel was supposed to play the Sidney Pollack character in Eyes Wide Shut. Yep. Like he left. They were actually filming it, and he was like, no, like he was interviewed about it. And he's like, no, I have to be respected, you know. And he just didn't want it. He's like, you have me walking in. You don't like how I'm walking, like, you know, walking into the scene. And also, he was supposed to be the Willard character in Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. Harvey Keitel.
Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah.
About that.
But I think Klaus Kinski, if he was working with Kubrick, too, like, you know, like really tough to work with people, trying to, like, that would be interesting to see that happen.
If they survived it, yeah. He worked with Herzog a lot, and they said they were pretty much like best friends. They got along really, really well. So I don't know what Herzog
I think he's like an actor's director, Herzog. He's very, like, you know, catering to like the actor's needs, whereas Kubrick was, you know, more isolated.
He didn't want the drama on set. You see with Shelley Duvall on The Shining making of, Kubrick was like Hitchcock, like, shut up and do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Herzog is more like, this is good drama. Like, the behind the scenes drama of the making of the film is almost better. This is good. We can use this, right? So
yeah. Anyway, that's our episode for this week. Tune in next week for another episode and click down below to hit subscribe. And also, please leave a comment and let us know what kind of movies you'd like to see us review.
Stay cool.